Welcome to Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, with your host, Steve Garrett, lifetime member of the National Corvette Museum, president of the Corvette Club of Kansas City, Missouri, and radio disc jockey at the #1 radio station in Kansas City for over 45 years. Here's Steve Garrett.
Thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, and the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. I appreciate you tuning in. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call them at 833-840-5334. You can listen to Corvette Today on all podcast platforms. You can also listen on your smart device. Just say, "Hey Google," or "Alexa, play the podcast called Corvette Today," and you're connected. And be sure to visit the Corvette Today website. It's CorvetteToday.com. You can access everything there, including the Corvette Today merchandise store. You can also join our Corvette Today Facebook group there as well. Also, make sure you sign up for the Corvette Today emails, notifications, and updates at corvettetoday.ck.page. And if you like YouTube, be sure to subscribe to our Corvette Today YouTube channel. See all Corvette Today episodes on YouTube as well. And be sure to patronize our flagship sponsors of Corvette Today, MidEngineCorvetteForum.com, the forum that focuses on the new mid-engine C8 Corvette. Meet a lot of fellow Corvette enthusiasts like yourself at MidEngineCorvetteForum.com. Soul Performance Products. Developed and manufactured in the United States, the Soul Performance Products exhaust portfolio has been tailored to elevate the experience of the world's most exciting sports cars, including the latest generation of the Corvette. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. Aerolarri Wheels, a true forged wheel with over 20 unique styles to choose from for your C8 and wide-body versions of the C7, C6, and C5 Corvette. It's an amazing value, starting at only $23.88 for a set of 4 fully forged wheels. And use the promo code CT111 and get $100 off your purchase. Visit Aerolarri.com. That's AEROLARRI.com. And use the promo code CT111 for your $100 discount. C8 Corvettes. If you're a Corvette enthusiast, and I know you are since you're listening and watching Corvette Today, then you need to know about C8 Corvette. They're based in Atlantic City, where you can find over 100 new and pre-owned vets on the lot and inbound. C8 also ships Corvettes all over the country, custom ordered to your specifications. They're staffed with experienced pros who can answer all your questions. So don't compromise. Visit CiocaCorvette.com. That's CIOCCA Corvette.com and find out more. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. E5 Wheels. E5 Wheels is a passionate and dedicated wheel company that serves only Corvette. They make spun-forged wheels for your C8, C7, and C6 Corvette. With the best fitment in the industry, E5 Wheels ensures your wheels complement the aesthetics and functionality while optimizing the performance of your Corvette. Visit e5wheels.com or call them at 305-964-7429. And a shout out to Canadian Corvette Forum and Corvette Forum, welcoming Corvette enthusiasts from around the world. All right, everybody, it's time to bring you the latest Corvette news and headlines with Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger.com. Keith is with me every other week. Together, we keep you current and up to date on what's happening with America's sports car. Keith, welcome back to the show. You had some big news last week. I'm so excited for you, buddy.
Yeah, I've been working on this for a little while, and I haven't said too much about it. I know my friends know about it, but the allocation for my E-Ray got picked up on Thursday. Going to be ordering this car through Mike Furman at Criswell Chevrolet. Hoping to have it sometime near the end of October, early November. Pretty exciting stuff. It's the very first new Corvette I've ordered. Of course, I've had my 66 Corvette in the garage since before I was born. So it's exciting that I finally get to kind of put my mark on my own Corvette, and pretty excited about that.
Yeah, that was your dad's car. Tell him a little bit about the spec of the E-Ray.
Yeah, sure. So it's funny, I was trying to cut costs and keep costs down, and then the dream just kind of took over. So it is a 3LZ convertible. It was always going to be a convertible. I tell people that from the moment I saw the convertibles at the Kennedy Space Center reveal back in October of 2020, I I knew that that was the car for me. This car actually is going to be the new Hysteria Purple Metallic with Sky Cool Gray interior. It's got a bunch of the options on it. Of course, a lot of the options already come standard on it with magnetic ride control, with the carbon ceramic brakes, but we're also going to get the front lift, the two-tone Sky Cool Gray interior, chrome wheels from Wheelcraft. I think it's going to look pretty sharp.
Buddy, congratulations. I'm so excited for you. Can't wait to see that car coming out from Criswell Chevrolet and you guys driving home. That's awesome.
Well, thanks. And I've actually, because we did mention it in the story last week, I've actually had people reaching out and saying congratulations and telling me the journey's worth it and all that stuff. So really looking forward to this. It's an exciting time. I tell people I'm both excited and I'm terrified at the same moment. It's just the process you go through. I'm in good hands with Mike over at Criswell.
Definitely. Well, buddy, let's get the show started. Let's talk about Corvette production from the Bowling Green Assembly Plant.
Absolutely. So welcome to the 2025 model year. Chevrolet did start building 2025 models on Monday, September 9th. And from our understanding, actually, is that they had to start those later in the day because they were finishing up on the remaining 2024 models. Just a little inside baseball. Our understanding is generally what will happen is when they do a rolling change of model years on the assembly line, they actually take out a couple cars. And our understanding was there was 3 spots separating the 2024s from the beginning of the 2025s. They just pick up where they left off, but now they've got new 2025 equipment on the cars. We don't really have too many stats yet for the 2025s, but unofficially, we do have 2024 production numbers based on Roger Keel's VIN count. 2024 production ended with 30,902 Stingrays, 10,549 Z06s, and 1,249 E-Rays. So that's a total of 42,700 Corvettes for the 2024 model year.
Nice.
And again, unofficial numbers, so just make sure everybody knows that. We are looking forward to getting the full download from the National Corvette Museum, which will have everything all buttoned up, and then that's how we'll be able to know exactly what cars were chosen and where all the options and all that stuff. Look for that in a couple weeks or so, but again, 42,700 cars for 2024. Not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all. And this is all very interesting that they started 2025 models because Chevrolet has delayed the 2025 Build and Price Configurator until September 24th.
Yeah, this was interesting because in early August, they did tell dealers that the configurator would be up on September 10th. And then I think the week before that, the most recent communicated dealers, they pushed it back to the 24th. We got a little bit of flack on Facebook for posting this story with some accusing us of having, quote, first world problems. And of course, it probably didn't help to say there's no way to treat high-end sports car buyers, you know, the high-end being the trigger word there for some people. That may be so, but as someone who has some experience in this, try building and pricing out a new Corvette with last year's data. You have to get out paper and pencil. You have to try to figure out, do I have the right pricing? Do I have the right information? Even when I got my order back from Mike, I had to confirm pricing with him and make sure that everything was all buttoned up there. The Build and Price Configurator, what a great tool it is. It's got to be up and running for buyers. So hopefully Chevrolet will get this in gear and get that up sooner rather than later. But we are expecting it on Tuesday, September 24th.
That sounds good. Also, on the technical side, GM has expanded the recall of the seatbelt retractors for the C8 Corvette.
Yeah, you know, earlier this summer, General Motors announced that certain 2024 and 2025 Corvettes were being recalled because one or both seatbelts can become locked after the automatic locking retractor function is activated. This is what happens when you pull the seatbelt all the way out and then it retracts all the way in, and then it becomes locked. The problem is, like, there's these 2 internal components of the retractor that are out of spec, and when it happens, you can't use your seatbelts. They lock up and you actually need to take them to service. The word this week is that the recall, again, previously 2024 and 25 Corvettes, has now included a few hundred more C8 Corvettes from every year from 2020 to 2025.
Oh.
So according to the safety recall notices, some cars were supposedly already fixed, but they're fixed with defective components. So these are the new set of retractors that will need to be installed on them. The good news is replacement retractors are available. We did actually speak to a dealer. They're actually still sending cars to dealers that have the bad retractors in them. And when the car gets to the dealer, there's a stop sale notice on that car. So it cannot be delivered until those seatbelts are swapped out with the new seatbelt retractor. The good news is there are parts, and that this expanded recall only adds another 400 or so Corvettes from 2020 to 2024. So they know what cars they are. They believe they have the VINs. These notices will go out, I think, on September 30th to these new owners saying, hey, you know, you might have to have your seatbelt retractors replaced replaced, bring it into your Chevy dealer for a look at it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's expanded, but we're only talking about another 400 cars. But the total so far is with the 2024s and 2025s is 13,860 or so. It's a big number of cars. And like I said, they're still getting to dealers with these battery tractors. Hopefully we can fix that at the factory as well as at the dealerships.
Yeah, definitely. Also, there was a federal appeals court that says General Motors will still face a class action lawsuit about C7 transmissions. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so for years, some GM owners have complained about what they call shuddering and shaking in the higher gears, and then a little bit of lurching in the lower gears when shifting their 8-speed automatic transmissions. This is an ongoing saga. In the past, GM has responded by having dealers come in and they tried changing the fluid, they tried flushing it. It hasn't worked out. There's actually, it's called the transmission shudder problem. This has been going back and forth. Earlier this year, a federal judge ruled that a class action suit could be formed. GM appealed that, and then the latest news was the 6th U.S. Circuit of Appeals has ordered GM to face that class action lawsuit. It involves 514,000 owners of GM vehicles produced from 2015 to 2019.
Wow.
And it's not just Corvettes. It's Corvettes, it's Camaro, Colorado, Silverado. You've got Cadillac CTS, CT6, and the Escalade, and even GMC Canyon, Sierras, and Yukons all have this transmission shudder issues. Looks like it's moving its way through the court system, and then next thing is to go ahead with the lawsuit against General Motors for these transmission issues, and hopefully we'll see if affected owners can get something out of it.
Wow. On the positive side, the Corvette E-Ray was named Ward's 10 best engines and propulsion systems for 2024. The E-Ray is really getting some notice.
It really is. And in fact, the C8s have all done well with Ward's autos anyways. From a field of 34 nominees in 2024, they actually chose 8 electrified vehicles and 2 ICE-powered vehicles for its top 10 list. And then the 2024 Corvette E-Ray was one of those that earned its prestigious slot on that Ward's 10 best autos and propulsion systems for 2024. So this is the third C8 to win this honor. The winning streak for C8 powertrains began in 2020 with the LT2 engine on the Stingray. And then they also earned the honor in 2023 with the flat plane crank LT6 V8 for the Z06. Pretty cool stuff there. Besides the E-Ray, this year's honorees include the BMW X5, you got a Ford F-150 Power Boost, Honda Civic Hybrid, the Hyundai Iconic 5N all-wheel drive, the Kia EV9 GT, Porsche's Cayenne Hybrid, and the Ram 1500 Tungsten, among 2 Toyotas and a couple others.
Wow.
Pretty cool stuff. Again, we talked about this. Ward's Auto's been around forever. This top 10 list of engines is one of their big things they do every year. And again, great to see the E-Ray honored on it.
Absolutely right. Well, buddy, it's time for our first break. When we come back, it's Corvette racing and Corvette rumors on deck next, here on Corvette Today.
We all know that wheels make the car. Wheelcraft's PVD chrome finish in bright chrome or black chrome will take your Corvette to new levels. And it comes with a 5-year warranty. Durability is a defining feature of the Wheelcraft finish. Their PVD chrome is superior to traditional chrome, with a finish that is brake dust resistant and cleans effortlessly with soap and water. Wheelcraft offers factory wheel exchange for select C4 through C8 models, or they can apply the PVD finish to your current wheels. No matter what generation you own, Wheelcraft will transform the look of your Corvette. With every Corvette comes a unique story, and Wheelcraft has embraced this idea. When you purchase your new set of wheels, you receive a lifetime membership to the Wheelcraft Pit Crew, granting you access to your own page on Wheelcraft's website, where you can post pictures and tell your Corvette story. Visit our website at wheelcraft.com or call 833-639-4231. Arrive in style with Wheelcraft.
Hey, honey, are you awake?
I am now.
I can't sleep. Since turning 50, I keep dreaming of a red door and a blue door, somehow knowing there are only choices for retirement.
Okay.
Through the red door, we outlive our money. We have to rely on our kids. We're stuck on a fixed income. It's terrifying.
Yeah, that would suck.
But through the blue door, our money outlives us. We retire on our terms. Our kids stay our kids, not our caretakers. We make work optional.
Yes, that's much better. That's what I want too. But what do we do?
We call True Wealth & Company at 913-653-8783. They specialize in helping successful people make work optional. They're our fiduciary Blue Door personal wealth managers.
Hey, where are you going? It's 3 a.m.
I can't sleep. I'm going to check out True Wealth & Company online at retirewithtrue.com. That Blue Door is going to be our retirement.
913-653-8783. Visit us online at retirewithtrue.com. Investment advice offered through True Wealth & Company, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of Kansas.
Rev up your ride with the ultimate upgrade. The Radiator Grill Store is your go-to destination for top-notch C8 Corvette Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray accessories. Elevate your style with custom-painted engine bay covers, sleek front splitters, and side skirts that scream sophistication. Keep your C8 protected with premium Radiator Grill screens. Stand out from the crowd at car shows and beyond. Use code CT10 for an exclusive 10% discount off your total purchase at radiatorgrillstore.com. Don't miss out on turning heads. Upgrade your Corvette today.
You're listening and watching Corvette Today with Steve Garrett.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. It's the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. You want your Corvette looking its best, don't you? Well, dress it up with bright chrome or black chrome wheels. Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or do a wheel exchange, and you also get a 5-year warranty. So visit wheelcraft.com today or just give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is my pal, Keith Cornett from Corvette Blogger. Every other week, we keep you up to date on what's happening with America's sports car. In the second segment, we always cover Corvette racing and Corvette rumors. Keith, let's start with Corvette racing first. TF Sport got some points in Kodo. I was glad to see that.
Yeah, so World Endurance Championship was recently at Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. This was the Lone Star Le Mans 6-hour race, and TF Sport, of course, was there with their number 81 and 82 Corvette Z06 GT3Rs, and it was the number 82 Corvette that actually placed 8th in the LM GT3 class at the race, so they got points for that, which is big. Their number 81 Corvette, unfortunately, was a victim of some mid-race contact. Actually, it happened with about an hour left. They are actually in contention to have a top 5 finish and even could have won it. But then they got hit, and then they had to go back to the pits and fix some stuff, and then it just didn't work out, so they ended up retiring the car. TF Sport's making some progress. They're actually now headed to Japan for the 6 hours of Fuji. We'll have that coverage next time we get together.
Sounds good. And I love this next title. It said 8 is great at Barber Motorsports Park. Tell everybody what that means.
Yeah, we're talking about DXDT Racing and the GT World Challenge America series. If you guys want to watch some really great GT racing, this is the series to do it. These races are shown live on YouTube, and the format's really easy. There's 2 races per weekend, one on Saturday and one on Sunday. And again, with the race there on YouTube, if you miss it, you can go back and easily watch it and kind of skip around. But these are exciting races. Of course, Tommy Milner has joined Alex Udell in the number 63 Corvette Z06. And last week, these 2 drivers earned their 7th and 8th straight wins at Barber Motorsports Park.
Wow.
What's really cool is with these consecutive victories, they've done this now 4 consecutive weekends in a row, and that's a record for the GT World America Challenge. Pretty cool there. But what's really important is now they are set up for kind of a winner-take-all. So the next race is next month at the 8 hours of Indianapolis. To close out the season, you win it all. So good for Milner and Udell there. The other thing that happened is DXDT Racing also has a pro-amateur car, and that one also won its class. Brian Sellers and Bryson Morris won the first race in the number 64 Corvette there. Pretty exciting stuff. Again, the next race for the GT World Challenge America comes up the 8 hours of Indianapolis, and that is October 2nd through the 6th. Win it, and you win it all. So pretty cool stuff there.
That is cool. Sounds like they're getting their mojo back, that's for sure, doesn't it?
It does. These cars are the most winningest Z06 GT3 cars out there and currently racing. And again, it helps that you have Milner, who is the development engineer and driver for the car, the pilot seat. That's got to help as well. But also, the class of racing is really good. There's a lot of familiar names that people will know. Next month's format's a little different because it's an 8-hour race as opposed to like a 1 hour or 1 hour and 50 minutes, is like most of their sprint races are.
Yeah.
Should be some really good competition there.
That sounds awesome. In the rumor section, we have one, but it's huge. It's gargantuan. We think we got the C8 Zora prototypes out on the Nurburgring, don't we?
Yeah, we got the spy pictures. There's really 2 clues that tell us these are indeed the Zora models. First, you definitely see the inclusion of the vertically mounted cooling radiator on the front driver's side car. This is very specific to the E-Ray's E all-wheel drive cooling loop. It's definitely something that's very visible there. You can't really hide it. It's the only one that we see on C8 Corvettes is the E-Ray. So the assumption is that this car also has an E all-wheel drive system. The second clue is probably even more important because any vehicle that wants to go on the Nurburgring with a hybrid or an EV battery pack, they're required to carry an official Nurburgring warning sticker to first responders that tells them that, hey, this car is electrified. You can see these yellow stickers on the back engine hatches of the Zora prototypes. That's not something we're putting on the cars or engineers are putting on the cars. That's something that track officials say that car needs to have if it's going to be on the Nurburgring. So basically tells us that there is a hybrid all-wheel drive Corvette back again, and there's 4 of them actually. All of them are coupes. They all have that ZTK high wing. And once again, we see those special test pipes on the car that direct the sound of the exhaust downward so it doesn't run afoul of the acceptable track noise levels. All 4 Zoras are wearing the ZR1's bodywork, includes that flow-through front hood. We've got the additional rear air intakes on the sides. The one thing they are missing, though, is that vented split rear window design. We're not sure why they're not on there, but these are prototype cars, and again, they just don't show that on a prototype, maybe just on the finished designs only. These Corvette Zoras and the engineer are expected to be at the Nurburgring through next week. Always the goal is, will we see a fast time or not? We doubt that we'll actually get it. But the good news is that there is a blue Corvette Z06 with them, and that's going to be used by the German magazine Sport Auto and their driver Christian Gebhardt for a super test on the Nurburgring. So we might be getting a fast timed lap for the Z06 after all, maybe not from the Corvette team, but from a very well-known driver who does a lot of these super tests on the Nurburgring. You would definitely be able to take his times and compare those to some of the other cars he's driven as well. No real word if the ZR1 is with him, though. We were kind of hoping it would be. Corvette engineers actually said they would be going back to the Nurburgring when we talked to him at Carlisle in the NCM anniversary show. But right now it appears the focus is totally on the Zora.
That's really cool. Exciting news for sure.
All the way through the end of next week, we've got a spy photographer over there who's sending us stuff. We've got pictures up the first day they were there, and then we've already got a video. We're expecting another 1 or 2 videos over the course of the next 7 or 8 days or so. So definitely stay tuned for that.
Fantastic. All right, Keith, let's take our final break. When we come back, it's the lighter side of Corvette on deck next, here on Corvette Today.
Are you ready for a better insurance policy without the Corvette tax? With Agreed Value Protection, the value of your collector vehicle will never change. Plus, you'll save money. Get a quick quote at ncminsurance.com.
The National Corvette Restorer Society is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. 50 years of affirming and promoting the preservation and restoration of the Corvette. 50 years as the foremost Corvette collector car organization for building value with its prestigious awards. Have you ever considered joining NCRS? Over 70,000 people have. We're so much more than just the nuts and bolts. The NCRS flight judging program can and often does increase the value of America's sports car by researching and publishing the leading tech manuals and judging guides for the 1953 through 2007 Corvette, by training the best judges and by hosting local, regional, and national judging events. And when you join, you'll get award-winning magazines like Corvette Restorer and Driveline all throughout the year. Joining is simple and easy. Just go to ncrs.org and sign up. There are NCRS chapters all throughout the U.S. and all around the world. Chances are there's a local chapter near you. So join NCRS today at ncrs.org. We come for the Corvettes. We stay for the friendships made along the way.
When you want to buy a Corvette, or any Chevrolet for that matter, get yours from Hendrick Chevrolet Shawnee Mission, located in Kansas City. Hendrick Chevrolet is the largest Corvette dealership and showroom in the Midwest. With a knowledgeable sales staff and Corvette sales specialists on hand, they'll help you build the Corvette of your dreams, and they ship nationwide. With Corvette certified master mechanics on site and a huge parts department with over 24,000 parts and $2 million in inventory, Hendrick Chevrolet is well equipped to take care of your every need. From sales to service to collision repair, Hendrick Chevrolet has you covered. Visit ChevyUSA.com or call 913-384-1550.
VetFinders.com is the Internet's original Corvette classified ads website, with classified ads starting at just $25, and every ad runs until your Corvette is sold. If you're in the market for a Corvette, VetFinders.com has over 500 Corvettes for sale from all around the USA and Canada, and covering all 8 generations. Visit VetFinders.com, the Internet's destination for buying and selling Corvettes. That's VETTE Finders.com.
This is the Corvette Today podcast with Steve Garrett.
Thanks once again for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. You want your Corvette looking its best, don't you? We'll dress it up with bright chrome or black chrome wheels. Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or do a wheel exchange, and you also get a 5-year warranty. So visit wheelcraft.com today or just give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is my buddy Keith Cornett from Corvette Blogger. If you want a deeper dive into any of the stories that we cover, you can always go to CorvetteBlogger.com. In this final segment, we cover the lighter side of Corvette. Keith, we got our top 10 dealers through August 30th. Did we have much movement in the top 10?
Really, the biggest movement is McMulkin just keeps on blasting off and selling way more Corvettes than anybody else. I mean, the numbers totally amaze me. Just to give you an example here, in July, they sold 127 Corvettes. In August, they sold 254.
Wow.
Second place was Sioka with 91 cars. McMulkin, I don't know what's in the water up there, but man, oh man, are they selling some cars. Their total right now for the year is 1,311. Again, Sioka Corvette second place has 780 sales for the year. No real big changes in the way the list is set up from last month. McMulkin, Sioka, we have Criswell third. Mike sold 38 cars for 377 total. Fourth place, Baumman Dahlin, 32 cars for 307 total. And Les Stanford, our friends in Dearborn, Michigan, had 46 cars sold for 288. I mentioned them because we've been doing it on my email list. They're one of our sponsors, and we've been sending out some of their inventory alerts. Back in July, they moved to 10% off MSRP.
Ooh.
We did see their sales grow. They went from 25 sales in July to 46 sales last month. That appears to be working, and we've seen some other dealers that are sort of following suit with that. Of course, now we do have GM employee pricing out there, so it could be that these dealers are a little bit more flexible now and have room to play with that. So definitely check out your dealers. Sixth on the list, we have Stingray Chevrolet in Plant City, Florida. 14 cars for 184 total. Classic Chevrolet, Grapevine, 30 cars for 161. Our friend Rick Connie, Coghlan Chevrolet, 18 cars for 144 total. And then number 9, Baumman West Kendall in Miami, 16 cars for 132. And then 10th on the list, Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont, Florida, just northeast, I believe, of Orlando. They have 20 cars sold for also 132. Don Mealy's the kind of the new guy on the list. They just got on the list last month, and already they're tied with Baumman for that spot. Pretty interesting stuff there. Again, these cars, we talk about the top 10s, but only about 15% of Corvettes are sold through these dealers. We always say make sure you just continue to check with your local dealers and your regional dealers, especially because there's deals to be had. There's a lot of Stingrays right now that are being ordered on dealer stock. It's a great way to pick up a bargain if you're looking that way. And then if you want to order a car, again, maybe some of these smaller dealers are the way to go now because the big dealers still have their list for Z06 and E-Rays. So it might be a smaller dealer where you might actually get one of those faster. It never hurts to go to the big dealers. They generally have volume pricing. But again, with only 15% of sales, you definitely need to keep your eye on what's happening locally.
Yeah, definitely. Good advice. Buddy, this is my favorite story of the whole show. A C7 ZR1 owner donated his tires to a stranded ZR1 owner that was on the Caravan in Wyoming so he can make it all the way into Bowling Green. What a great story this is.
Yeah, what a really great story. We talked about giving the shirt off our backs, but how about the wheels off your car, right?
Right.
The leader was Pacific Central Caravan leader Don Herzer, leading his group of Corvette caravanners to the NCM when his ZR1 suffered a major right front tire incident that left him stranded at a Chevy dealership near Cheyenne, Wyoming. Good news was they could get tires for him. It was just going to take several days to get there, and that would kind of leave him stranded while the rest of the caravan making their way to the Corvette Museum. But the luck of God, it just so happened that day, a local owner of a 2019 ZR1 named Alex and Sarah Aragon, they just happened to be at the dealership for routine service on their car. They heard about Don's problems and they offered him his tires so that he could resume his caravan journey.
Wow.
What are the chances that two ZR1 owners would be at the same dealership at the same time and that one could help the other?
Right.
But that's what Corvette people are all about. We don't know the deal, what happened to how these two guys came up with this agreement, but God love them. They did it and they made it work, and hopefully everybody came out all right on the end.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. This is another cool story. A friend of the show, Mike Brink from Brink of Speed, has his guess on new C8 ZR1 pricing.
Yeah, one of the things that we've done, I know he's done it, others are doing it, is to look at kind of the relation of previous pricing, especially ZR1s and Z06s and how they were separated, looking at C6, looking at C7, and then sort of applying those lessons to C8. So utilizing this theory, Mike believes that the starting MSRP will be a lot more favorable to enthusiasts. We're hearing people saying, 180, 200,000. We're thinking that the worst case scenario, based on just the way the pricing has been for a 1ZR Corvette ZR1, Mike's thinking about 164 is the worst case, and that he actually thinks his best price is somewhere around 154,000. So he gave himself like a $10,000 cushion there. Again, you're talking about a base 1ZR car, basically no options. We do believe that it'll be relatively easy to go north of 200,000 when you do start adding some options. You go to that 3ZR version, you start adding pricing equipment like visible carbon fiber wheels, and those prices will go up pretty quickly there. Not everything is as bad as it seems. Again, my guess has always been around 149,995. I'm still sticking with that. I think that's a great way to showcase what America's sports car is capable of. And of course, the engineers at Chevy are really standing behind this car as something that's pretty special. I'm thinking they're going to want to get it out there. They told us that there's not going to be real constraints on the car in terms of limits. We've heard that from other people that, this car is going to be limited because of the special equipment on the car. But we'll just have to wait and see how things shake out. It'd be nice to see 2,000 or so a year produced. That's what we saw other ZR1s in the day. I think they're capable of doing it.
Yeah, definitely. I hope you're right about the 149.9. I've always, for some reason, thought 164 as well. Mike and I talked about that, and he said, great minds think alike. Well, I hope you're right and we're wrong, Keith.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where exactly that comes up with. And I know we're going to be doing an exercise on Corvette Blogger where the different writers are chiming in with their thoughts as well. So maybe we'll have to include you in on that and see what we can come up with.
That sounds great, buddy. I'd love to do it. Our final story, Hagerty. This is really, I couldn't believe this. Hagerty says that C8s are depreciating faster than C7s are. Wow.
A lot of it is just standard rule of economics is, the growing supply of cars through the Bowling Green factory. They're pumping out hundreds and hundreds every week, and the market is softening. And so you also had the previous model year already did take some depreciation, although we actually did see used C7s appreciating during that whole fiasco when the supply chain was all off. So people were buying pre-owned cars over new cars just because that's where the supply was. But now they're both coming down. A chart compiled by Hagerty shows that the peak price reached about $120,000 in late 2021 for C8s, and then has come down since then, with the current average being around $72,090. That compares to the current average of $49,180 for that front engine 2014 to 2019 C7 Corvette. The graph does show the correspondence between those supply chain problems back in the summer of 2021 and into 2022, but you definitely see that the depreciation is much less from the C7 as it is in the C8.
That's amazing. I just find that fascinating. I thought, everybody says, oh, Steve, now that you've got a C8, I'm sure you don't miss your C7. Well, my C7 was a manual transmission. I always tell everybody, you know what? I miss my C7 every single day.
That's the one thing that is really driving some of these C7 prices is, does it have a manual transmission? Of course, one of the big collector cars right now, the 2019 Corvette ZR1 with ZTK, does it have a manual transmission? If it does, you're adding dollars to the price of that car.
Yeah.
Definitely there's some things there. And plus, they were great cars. I mean, Grand Sports, the Z06, they were all great cars back in C7 days. So there was a lot of good things to look forward to.
Absolutely right. Well, buddy, thanks for being back on Corvette Today. We will see you in 2 weeks, okay?
Sounds great. If we see you out there, we're going to keep waving. And actually, that's the little saying I got on my plaque when we ordered the car is keep waving.
Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today. And be sure to tell your family, friends, and other Corvette enthusiasts about the Corvette Today show. And thanks to our sponsors, Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com to learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call 833-639-4231. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. Ciocca Corvette at CIOCCA Corvette.com. E5 Wheels at E5Wheels.com. True Wealth & Company at RetireWithTrue.com. Also, Aerolarri Wheels. Get $100 off your purchase with the new promo code CT111 at Aerolarri.com. And Hendrick Chevrolet in Kansas City at ChevyUSA.com.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. If you'd like to contact Steve with ideas for Corvette Today, You can email him at stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Garrett has 2 R's and 2 T's. That's stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Also, sign up for email notifications at corvettetoday.ck.page. Follow Steve and the show on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Threads at Steve Garrett DJ. Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today.